The first measurement we are going to derive is how to get your nipple to nipple measurements. In case you forgot or you forget to take it on your client's body, this is how you're going to get the nipple to nipple measurement without measuring your clients. Hello, my fashion lovers. Welcome to today's tutorial. Please, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Put on your notification bell to watch the sewing videos anytime I drop my videos. I drop my videos every week. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment on my videos. Please support my ministry. Alright, today we are going to be looking at how to get the accurate measurement for your clients. In case you forget to take your client's measurements or you feel that you did not take the accurate measurements, I'm going to be giving you the calculations and the formulas you need to get the right measurement for your clients to avoid stories at touch. I'm going to be showing you how to get your nipple to nipple measurements, the accurate way to get your bust cup measurements, the accurate way to get from your arm, from your shoulder to your underbust, and so many calculations I'll be showing you in this video in case you forget to measure your clients because of taking your client's measurements. I assure you that this video will go a long way in helping you with your sewing. With this video, even if you did not take your client's measurements or your client sent you the picture to use, with this tutorial, you can derive the right measurement to use for every body size. Please watch till the end. Thank you. The first measurement we are going to derive is how to get your nipple to nipple measurements. In case you forgot or you forget to take it on your client's body, this is how you're going to get the nipple to nipple measurement without measuring your clients. All right, the first one, which is the bust pan. The bust pan is either you call it the bust pan or you call it the nipple to nipple measurements. How do you drive this nipple to nipple measurements? You know, we always divide nipple by nipple. How to derive this measurement? You're going to divide your bust by 4. Divide your bust by 4, and whatever you get minus what? 1.5. To get your nipple to nipple measurement, that is your bust pan, you're going to divide your bust circumference by 4 and take away 1.5 to get your nipple to nipple measurement. For example, if you measure your client's bust to be 36, your client's bust is bust 36, you're going to divide this if your client's bust measurement is 36, you're going to divide this 36 by 4. When you divide this 36 by 4, it will give you 9. Divide your bust measurement, your client's bust measurement by 4. I'm using 36 as an example. If you divide it by 4, you're going to get 9. And this 9, you're going to minus 1.5 from it. That is, you're going to minus 1.5 from this 9, and it will give you 7.5. That should be your client's accurate nipple to nipple measurement. That is the bust pan. in case you forget to take it on your client. And you know that at the end of the day, this 7.5, if you want to impute it here, if you want to impute it, the bust span, let's assume that this is the bust, the under bust, and the waist. And if you want to impute it here, this 7.5 here, this 7.5, you're going to divide it by 2. This 7.5, you're going to divide it by 2. To impute this measurement, you're going to divide it by 2. And when you divide it by 2, your bust span, when you divide it by 2, you impute it here. When you divide it to give it 3/4, then impute it here. This becomes your bust span. With this measurement, you won't make any mistake. With this measurement, you won't make any mistake. This is how you derive your nipple to nipple measurement, the bust span. All right, the next measurement we are going to try is from your shoulder, from shoulder to bust points. The shoulder to bust point. How do you get this measurement? From the shoulder to the bust point. How do you get it? You're going to do bust divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch. Bust divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch. If the bust measurement you're working with is 36, you're going to divide it by 4. And when you divide it by 4, it will give you 9. And this 9, you're going to add 1.5 to it. And it gives you 10.5. That is 10.5 to get your shoulder to bust point. Shoulder to bust point. To get your shoulder to bust point, you're going to divide your bust circumference by 4. Divide your bust circumference by 4 and add 1.5 inch to it. If your bust circumference is 40, divide it by 4, then add 1.5. If your bust circumference is 42, divide by 4, then add 1.5 to it. That will give you your shoulder to your bust point. That will give you your shoulder, where to place your bust point. Where to place your bust points. This is how to get it. Where to mark your bust points. And to get the chest points, to get our chest points, our chest line is always 2 inches. Is always 2 inches above the bust points. Can you see it? The chest line, where you're going to place your chest line, is always 2 inches above the bust line. The 2 inches, and your chest line should be together with your end of your armhole. This is the chest line. 2 inches above your bust line to get your chest line. We have talked about how to get nipple to nipple measurement, how to get shoulder to bust point, and how to get your chest line. Now I'm going to give you the formula of how to drive your shoulder to under bust. This is what I'm talking about. This is the shoulder to under bust. How do you drive this measurement? from your shoulder to under bust. This is how to drive the measurements. We calculated that from your nipple to under bust is always 4 inches. Your bust point, this is your bust point, and this is your under bust. It's always 4 inches apart. That is the first point you're going to note, that the distance between your bust and the under bust is 4 inches. The distance between your bust point and your under bust is 4 inches. So if your shoulder to nipple, if your shoulder, I'm using an example, if your shoulder to your nipple is 10.5, from your shoulder to this your nipple point to your bust point is 10.5. You're going to add 4 inches to get your under bust. You're going to add 4 inches to get your under bust. The distance between your shoulder and your nipple, if your shoulder to nipple is 13, add 4 to it to get your under bust. If your shoulder to nipple to your bust point or your nipple is 10 inches, please add 4 to get your under bust. Add 4 to get your under bust. From your shoulder to your under bust, add 4 to get your under bust. That is how to derive your under, to get your shoulder to under bust. You add 4 to get your accurate under bust measurements. All right, another formula we're going to look at is how to get your off-shoulder sleeve. How to get your off-shoulder sleeve after making your off-shoulder. How do you calculate? How do you calculate to know the actual sleeve you need for your round shoulder? You're going to calculate, measure your round shoulder. Measure your round shoulder. You're going to measure your round shoulder. If your round shoulder is 40 or 20, you put it here. Your round shoulder is 40. And you're going to measure your front and back neckline. Measure your front and back neckline. And I've told you several times, it's advisable to measure it after sewing. That is after sewing your blouse. Please measure the front and the back to know the actual measurement you use in sewing. If the front and the back neckline that you measured, the front and the back neckline, if what you get there is 20, if what you measured is 20, you're going to minus this round shoulder from this 20. That is 40 minus 20. You're going to minus your round shoulder from your front and back neckline. This front and back neckline, you're going to add it together. When you add it together, you're going to subtract it from this round shoulder. I assume that the front neck, I have 10, and the back neck, I have 10. When I add it together, it will give me 20. And this 20, I'm going to remove it from this round shoulder, which is 40. And when I do it, it's going to give me this 20 minus 40 will give me 20. 20 for my sleeve, for my off-shoulder sleeve. And this 20, because I'm working with two sleeves, I'm going to divide this 20 by 2. I'm going to divide this 20 by 2, and I'll have 10. So for each sleeve, I'm going to have 10. 10 for this sleeve, 10 for the other sleeve. Because it's going to be on fold, it will be 5. But when you open it up, it becomes 10. That is how to get your off shoulder sleeve. All right, let's go to how to get your armhole depth. How to get your armhole depth. That is this. How do you get this whenever you are measuring your client? How do you get your armhole depth? How do you get your armhole depth when you are measuring your client? This is the formula for it, for your armhole depth. You're going to divide your bust by 4. Let's take armhole depth. All right, to get your armhole depth, to get the armhole depth, to get this your armhole depth, how do you get this armhole depth? You have 2 methods to achieve this armhole depth. The first method is dividing your shoulder divided by 2 plus 1. This is the first method. Divide your shoulder. If what you have here on your shoulder is 15, if your shoulder measurement is 15, you know that what you're going to place here, 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. You know that what you're going to place here is 7.5. When you divide your shoulder measurement by 2, then when you come down here, you're going to take away 1 inch for your shoulder slope. Then you're going to impute whatever you have on your shoulder. Shoulder 15 divided by 2 will give me 7.5. So I'm going to impute 7.5 here. I will impute 7.5 here. I will put 7.5 plus 1 inch, plus 1 inch, plus 1 inch to get your armhole depth. This is the first method. Divide your shoulder measurement by 2. Whatever you have, place it here and add 1 inch to it. And before you do this, make sure you take out your 1 inch for your shoulder slope. Take out your 1 inch for your shoulder slope before you place your armhole depth. And another method you can use to get this armhole depth is dividing your bust by 4. If your bust measurement is 36, you're going to divide it by 4. And when you divide it by 4, it will give you 9. Divide by 4 and take away 1. It will give you 8. Another method, I've shown you the first method and the second method to get your armhole depth. You're going to divide your bust by 4. Whatever you get, take away 1 from it. Take away 1 from it to get your accurate bust measurement. To get your accurate armhole depth. To get your accurate armhole depth. But whenever you want to make a sleeveless top, whenever you want to make a sleeveless top, and you want to use the shoulder to use as your armhole depth, do not add 1. That is, if your shoulder is 7 and you place the exact 7 here when you want to make sleeveless, so that it will not be too open. It will not be too open. But when you are making other dresses, please add 1 to it. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section. All right, the next thing we are going to look at how to determine the right bust dart to use. Whenever you're making your bust here, how do you calculate the right bust dart? How do you get the right bust dart whenever you're making your bust here? How do you know the bust dart, the correct bust dart you're supposed to take for your client? This is what you're going to do. You're going to take away your bust circumference minus your under bust. Your bust circumference minus your under bust. If your bust circumference is 36 and your under bust is 32, you're going to minus it. Your bust circumference minus your under bust to get the bust dart. Anytime you're making your busting, you're going to take away your bust from your under bust. The bust measurement I'm working with is 36. The bust measurement I'm working with is 36 and the under bust is 32. If I take away this 32 from 36, it's going to give me 4. It's going to give me 4. And this 4, I'm going to divide it by 2. Divide your bust and under bust, take it away, then divide by 2. If I divide it by 2, it's going to give me 2. So on this side of my bust, on this side, I'm going to take 2 inches. See what I mean? How to derive, how to get this. I'm going to take this 2 inches, and on this side is always 1. It's constant. It's constant. I'm going to take 2 here and take 1 and take it down. Take it down to my waist. Take it down to my waist. And from this bust point, because I don't want this area to be sharp, I'll come down by 1 and I'll go up by 1 to get my dart, to get my bust dart. You're going to take away your under bust from your bust circumference to get the exact dart you're going to use for your busting. And now, how do you get the accurate bust cup? This is for the bust dart. Maybe if you're making your corset, you're making your anything you want to make, and you want to make use of the cup size. How do you drive your cup size? How do you get your cup size? How do you get this cup size? Anytime you want to use a foreign cup to make your dress, how do you get this cup size? You're going to divide your bust. You're going to your bust circumference minus under bust to get your cup size. The bust minus under bust. The bust cup I'm working, the bust circumference I'm working with is 36, and the under bust I'm working with is 32. So if I take away this 36 from 32, it's going to give me 4. This is my cup size. This is my cup size. So when you get to the market, they have size 1, size 2, size 3, size 4, size 5. So when you get to the market, you ask for size 4. They have different sizes for each breast cup. So when you get to the market, you ask them for cup 4, because that is your bust cup, the right bust cup. That is your right bust cup. Please, if you have any question, do not hesitate to ask. All right, how do you drive your crush depth whenever you're making your trouser? Whenever you're making your trouser and you want to drive your crush depth, how do you get this crush depth? You're going to divide your hip divided by 4 minus 1 to get your crouch depth. Hip divided by 4 minus 1. In case you forgot or you forget to measure your client. This is the right measurement to use to derive your crush depth anytime you're making your trousers. If the hip you're working with is 40, if the hip you're working with is 40, you're going to divide it by 4. When you divide it by 4, it will give you 9. And this 9, you're going to take away, it will give you 10. 40 minus 4 will give you 10. Take away 1 from it, and it will give you 9. And this is your crush depth. If you know, a lot of times some clients, they wouldn't want to disturb the client, measuring the client or anything, or whatever reason. This is how to drive your crush depth anytime you want to make your trousers. And for your flare, how do you get your flare? How do you measure your flare? You have your flare, you have 360, you have 180 flare, you have 360 flare, you have 720 flare, you have 1440 flare. When you look at these numbers, you'll find out that this flare, this 360, is times 2 of this. That is 180 plus 180 will give you this. So when you cut 2 of this, if you cut 1 of this, it will give you 180. If you cut your flare, if you cut it 2, it will give you 360. And this 360, if you cut 3 of it, that you cut 1 360, 1, 2, 3. This 360, if you cut 2 of it, that is 2. This 360, if you cut 2 of it, is going to give you 720. 360 plus 360, that is 720. And this 720, if you cut 2 of this 720, if you cut 2 of this 720, it will give you 1440 degree flare. 1440 degree flare. That is, for you to get this 144 degree flare, you're going to cut this 360. You're going to cut this 360 into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to give you 1440 flare. And what is the measurement for cutting this flare? The measurement for cutting this flare is dividing your waist. Divide your waist by 6.28. Divide your waist by 6.28. If the waist you're working with is 36, you're going to divide this waist by 6.28 to get your flare. To get your flare. And you know how we used to fold our flare. Let me use this as an example. Okay, let me use this paper as an example. You want to cut your flare. This is your fabric. See how you fold. You fold it like this. Fold it like this. And you fold like this. Fold like this. Then your waist divided by 6.28. Your waist divided by 6.28. If it's 4, you measure it like this. You measure it like this. Measure it round. Measure it round. Measure it round. Then you mark out your length. You mark out the length you need for your circle flare. Please, we're going to stop here. Always put on your notification bell so that anytime I post a new video, I post videos like every week, every day, like 4 times in a week. So to get these small tips on how to sew, make sure you on your notification bell so that anytime I post a video, a sewing video, you'll be the first to watch. Please, if you're confused or if you have any question to ask, do not hesitate to ask in the comment section. I'll be there to direct you. Thank you very much.